Good morning, Nesties. This is Netta from Florida Zone 10A, and I am planning my poo juice, super juice, moose juice, whatever you want to call it. So I went around putting down my moringa tree because it falls into my neighbor's yard, and I don't want to be too disrespectful. And I have my bucket right here. This top has been on this bucket probably for a year. I was stuffing stuff in there. So I emptied it out and I filled up one container so that I don't have to struggle with that pump over there. And then I'm gonna fill up these two containers. And then that'll help me with my fertilization. I learned something yesterday that to help with the cell structure and growth of fruit, they need a lot of potassium. And people say that they were using potash for potassium. I'm going to use moringa. Moringa is packed full of potassium. Packed. And it's going to be immediate release because it's all in the form of my moringa juice. So let me go ahead and get these containers filled. And then I'm going to get my moringa over here, pack it back down in here, put the lid back on it, and let it sit for another year. And probably don't need to sit for a year, but that's how long I let it sit. Yeah, that's heavy, and it's nasty. Maybe it's not as stinky as I thought it was going to be. That's gonna be a mess. There we go. The flies ain't here yet, but they coming. I guess you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. You gotta plan a little stink. But I have gloves on. And I'm gonna assume that this is working. Anybody else out there making their own compost tea? Stink juice? It's broken down really well. Probably need a funnel. I don't have one. Yeah, buddy. I was going through all my fertilizers and I run out of fertilizers and I really don't want to buy anymore. So I'm going to have to come up with an economical way of producing my own stink juice. I've been cutting down my leaves, chopping and dropping. All that good stuff to compost in place. I got a big old compost ball container going over there. I don't really want to be fooled up with, but I did put some paper bag, the paper packing on it. I'm trying to make sure I have a good combination of browns and greens, because when you don't, it stinks. And I do have neighbors, and I don't need nothing stinking that bad. So hopefully that'll build up over there, because that container is full. And then I'll summertime, it'll bake all summer long. It'll bake all summer, and hopefully it'll be ready for the fall. And I did go out and buy some compost and some, I bought compost and topsoil. And I declare it looked just the same. So, what's the point of me buying those soils with all those different amendments in it, and then you come home and you add more amendments to it, and then you fertilize every week? So something has to give. So my everything over here should be off topic. There used to be this store across the street called Earth Fair, and they sold homemade milk and lemonade. And it's a way when you buy out these jars right here, you return the jars, you get a discount for recycling, and they they fill it back up and give it back to you, baby. I knew good and well I have no business drinking milk, but this milk that was coming, I don't know what they was doing to that milk over there, how it was so rich and so creamy. It was delicious. I loved it. Making a mess. Oh, anyhow, that's where this container come from. Anybody remember the milkman coming to your granny house? I remember the milkman would come to my granny house and drop off the milk, drop off the ice cream, and drop off the butter. I remember that. Safety Harbor, Florida. Had to be the late 70s, early 80s. I was born in 73. And I had to be a little bitty girl. But I remember we loved the pet milkman. I don't know when the pet milkman stopped running. But my grandma had her milk delivered to the house, from my memories. And she made ice cream. And the ice cream maker part of it is out here in the garden. Anyhow, back to making my mousses. Yeah, you know what, Nesties, this is a vlogging channel, and sometimes I don't always stay on topic. Sometimes you do things and it strike a memory, and you want to talk about it. And that was one of my memories I just thought about with this right here, plus it being across the street. And some of y'all will probably be like, oh yeah, we used to get milk delivered to the house, or I don't know, maybe you just churned your own milk. I have the slightest idea. But I do have enough 511 to last me for a while. Up in north from here, like Brooksville, Hernando County, Pasco County, I stop at their and I'm gonna do it again, at their Walmart at the end of the season, and they had Alaska fertilizer at 511 on sale for like $11 and $12, and we all know that it costs doggone near $30 for what is that, a gallon? This is all near Corral, baby. But these right here, I had to bought 6, 7. I showed you, you saw it, but I did a lot of these. So I do have a lot of these. And now I have those. And I'm going to get ready to show y'all the inside of this. See, that's just all the stuff that's left in there. I don't know whether to let it stay in there and keep breaking down, or just pack more on top of it. But I think I'm gonna try to squeeze all the rest of the water out of here, and there's still a stem in here. Still a stem in there, because we all know the whole moringa tree is edible and it's full of nutrition. Definitely got to do your research on the moringa tree. Everybody talk about the moringa tree. I'm gonna go and put some of this right here on my peach trees to help my peaches form. And I'm just gonna put it down in the soft water and pour it down there. And I will be back. Alright, so I filled the bucket up full of moringa, and I went and got some other weeds just for some diversity and to invite other microorganisms in here also. Don't ask me if that works, I don't know. And I'm going to fill this up. I emptied out most of the stuff. I left a lot of the eggshells and some of the mud at the bottom. I'm going to fill it up with the water here. Or spider, you better get out of there while you can. And then I'm going to let it sit until next season. I got to get over there and get that compost turned over. I asked my husband for a pitchfork so I can turn that compost over. And that is how I'm going to make my compost tea with moringa leaves and some other nonsense. But most of this whole bucket is full of moringa, and then like I said, I put some extra weeds in here to introduce some other microorganisms. These are my jugs over here that are full, and this is just about pure concentrated. So as I take it out, I'm going to try to be less heavy-handed and probably use like a tablespoon per gallon, and that's how I'm going to. This was a lot of the residual that was at the bottom, a lot of crushed eggshells and mud. I did put some in there just to help keep it nice and concentrated, and I'll shake it up and I'll go from there. I got Mr. Spider down there having a fit, but he need to go on about his business. He's gonna get covered up in this container of juice. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this filled up, get the top back on it, and let it sit. If you are wondering where I got this from by any chance, I ordered this detergent on purpose. Came in this container, and I think I had this right here. Well, this one right here now is from the dish detergent bottle, but it had a pump on it, and I ordered it like that with the intention because I wanted the 5-gallon bucket, and I wanted it to have a seal, and I wanted it to have a pump so I can pump the juice out of it. But that didn't work because it kept getting clogged up. So I don't use the pump. I just kind of unscrew this, and I unscrew it, and I just pour it out. But I won't have to do either one of those because I have all those containers full. So I'm good to go for this season. Yep. Good to go for the season. So we'll let that finish getting filled up. And I'm gonna say, flip y'all up here, nesties. I hate to do it that way. I've been down. I'm going to say thank you for coming into my home. Thank you for allowing me into your home. And if you have just messed around the yard, let's try making your own fertilizer. Let's do our due diligence to use what we have on our own little homesteads, gardens, or what we can to make our own. I always watch my mama stuff eggshells in a gallon jug to feed her potus plants and feed her jasmine. So I'm going to try to carry out this and try to do the same thing because she has blessed me with a moringa tree, and she's pretty much blessed me with everything that I need in my yard for fertilizer. Sometimes I just get a little lazy and think things aren't moving as fast as I want them to move, and I go and get other stuff. Excuse me. But nonetheless, I have it right here, and that's proven right there that I filled up 2-gallon containers, and is that a liter? I think and a quart. And there you have it. All right, guys. Thank you, nesties. Come again.